Good morning, I'm Matt with Medina Minute. Today we're going to stop in 23 Public Square, known as Town Square Commons. Now this building has quite a bit of history in Medina. You know that we've had 2 fires in town, but this particular building was built in 1871 and was known as the Union Block. Some of the fun history is this was the original location of A.I. Root. Now Mr. Root started out as a jeweler, but then got into the bee industry and became a historic part of Medina. Today we're going to visit with some of the business owners inside and learn a little bit more about the history of Medina Square and what makes it tick. This morning we're sitting down and talking with Don Addelman from Imperial Shaving. Don, good to see you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Tell me a little bit about your business. You have this amazing store, but it's kind of a hidden gem of town. How did you come to Medina and open this place?
Well, I've been in Medina going on 20 years now.
Okay.
I think I've been 20 years. I was in the restaurant industry for 30 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
Since I was a 13-year-old till my early 40s.
Yeah.
And me and a friend of mine were just talking one day. It was actually a hobby. I collected old shave memorabilia, old razors. I restored old razors. So it started as a hobby, and decided to open up this little online business just to sell the stuff we were, rejuvenating, collected.
Okay.
And then it just kind of started, and the train started going, and we added a product line, and we added 2 product lines. And within 6 months, I left the restaurant industry and started this. This spring, May, is 10 years online.
10 years.
And
what attracted you to shaving memorabilia? I'm always fascinated about why people collect certain things.
I kind of fell into it. I saw a razor like in an antique store.
Yeah.
And it was an old safety razor by Gillette. I thought it was cool, and it just kind of steamrolled. And before you know it, I had more razors than my wife at the time cared for. They were all over the place. And so just try to turn it into a little business, and it was real small, but it just took off. Today we have over 2,200 SKUs.
Oh my gosh.
And it just kept expanding, and it's been opened the store, Imperial Shaving. Matter of fact, this we opened on candlelight.
Oh, okay.
So this candlelight was 7 years for the store.
What have you seen change in that 7 years?
A lot more people come to Medina.
Okay,
it really
good,
does.
Good.
I mean, Candlelight Walk 7 years ago, Candlelight Walk this, to what it's become.
Yeah.
The Ice Festival, the Farmers Market. I mean, you just see more and more people coming to Medina. To see the square, to shop the shops. And I think we've also developed over those last 7 or even 20 years since I've been here, a much more loyal fan base in Medina, where more Medina residents are taking care of the small businesses. They're shopping at the small businesses.
What made you decide to go from an online presence to a retail store?
Actually, at the time, we were looking for a warehouse.
Okay.
And we stumbled upon, our real estate agent that was working with us, that was also a friend of ours, we stumbled upon this property.
Yeah.
He said, what they're getting for real estate right now, I'm showing up some retail stores that are less.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, we didn't plan on it, but let's look at them. And we sought out, we went downstairs, met with Mike, looked at the store, and we're just like, wow.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
How do you draw people down? You have an amazing store, and I think once people discover what you have down there, they're kind of blown away, and it's pretty cool. How do you get people down there?
We mainly word of mouth.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that Sandy Lacey took care of that little sign for me.
Yeah.
That's made a huge difference.
Okay.
So it's just a little thing, being in a little local paper ad, or little things here or there, but mainly word of mouth. As people come through the store, they might not buy something today, but they learn what we have and they come back.
Sure.
And, that's where all the things that we do in the square to attract people to the square, that's helping us. Even if they don't buy something that day, now they know we're here.
How do you think, or why do you think the shaving industry has grown? And it seems like people are maybe paying a lot more attention to I'm not even sure what to call it, but people seem to be returning to the classics. Like men are very concerned with how they dress, and they're going much more classic, and they're really focused more on personal service and product. Where does that come from?
I'm not sure why it happened, but it happened. There was a point in time when we started off growing at a pretty good pace.
Yeah.
But then there was this point in time where men were just more. It wasn't just shaving, and we just don't carry shaving products. That just happens to be our name. We got you covered from head to toe.
Okay.
You want a pomade for your hair, you want a shampoo, you want a hummus brush for your feet. I mean, we've just got, we got everything. So, it is mostly men's, but just for an example, we have over 100 different colognes for men. We probably have about 20 for women. And our gig is kind of unique stuff.
Yeah.
We bring in stuff you're not going to find at Macy's or Dillard's. You're not going to find it there. We very strong European influence. A lot of American brands too, but we do definitely have a very strong European influence of our products.
What's your go-to cologne? What's your scent?
I don't have one, but I have a brand, Penhaligon's, out of London, UK. They've been doing it since 1870.
Oh wow!
It's a fine line of colognes, and there's also grooming products there, toiletries, with some of their matching scents. So you can get the cologne, the shaving cream, the aftershave, the lotion, the pomade, the mustache wax. So they expand their line. But that to me is one of my favorites. I don't like all the scents, but even the ones I don't like, I can appreciate
just the quality
of how well they're made. When you have a Forget and it's your English fern, you can just appreciate. I'm not a Forget typically guy. But
I don't even know what Forget is.
It gets into your grassy, earthy tones.
Okay. I thought I knew a lot about grooming products. Clearly, I don't. I mean, I'm bald. It's not like I'm using pomades or anything. How do you help your customers? I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of education, which can be kind of interesting. Do you talk them through it and explain the products?
Yeah, I mean, we've got even down, one thing we do is service. I mean, that's the only thing we can have all the products in the world, but if the service isn't great, it doesn't matter. Right. It's online as well. If it's not great service, it doesn't matter how good your product is.
Yeah.
And even more and more nowadays, even if you're maybe not the cheapest, if it's great service, people will pay that little extra for great service. And men nowadays wanting to really take care of themselves, where in the past, women have been doing it for generations, and men just, rough and rugged, we don't do that. And then men started realizing, wait a minute, I'm getting old a lot quicker than my significant other, and she's using all this stuff. So we have, peels, eye creams.
Oh wow!
Designed specifically for men.
Okay, so it's not just slap on the Old Spice, get in the Ford, and take off.
That's not what we do.
Are men using straight razors still? Is that
yes?
Okay.
It's not as hard as people think.
Yeah.
If you take your time, get a quality product.
Okay.
Because right now within the straight razor market, it's such a growing market that off brands are coming out that just aren't good quality.
Yeah.
So if you start off with a quality razor, take your time, practice. Guys normally take 3 to 4 weeks. They got it. They're down.
Yeah.
They can do it.
3 to 4 weeks and lots of little Band-Aids.
Yeah. Actually,
it scares me, quite
honestly.
honestly.
Safety razors, believe it or not, seem to be more people struggle with those.
Really?
Less of a margin for error.
Okay.
They are very, very thin blade, and when they get you pretty good.
So when I was a kid growing up in Northwest Ohio, we went to Sauter Village, where I had my first shave at the age of 9. So I think it was mostly just some cream and then some skin cells. But the guy took the razor on like a belt or
a leather
something.
strap.
How does a leather strap? How does that polish or sharpen a blade?
Just think about
that fascinated me.
Yeah, you just think about, you've got steel when you're rubbing it against even a cloth, whatever, or when you wax your car, you're rubbing that, so it just polishes the bevel, gets it all clean and polished for the shave.
Okay.
And we carry a full line of straps. Actually, they're crafted by an Amish craftsman that we use.
Oh, interesting.
That we designed them about 9 years ago, and put them to work, and we've been working with them ever since. And the line has grown. We started off with like 2 or 3 different straps. Now we have 10 different straps.
Oh my gosh.
Personal preference go in there. Once you learn what you're doing, there is a personal preference.
When people are coming here from out of town, how do you explain this town, or what do you say about this town that you love about Medina?
Normally I don't have to, because normally they're telling me how much they love it.
Oh, okay,
It
interesting.
really is. I mean, and when people ask me if I'm out of town or somewhere visiting, like relatives or something, how's the square, and I explain to them what's going on, the growth. They're like, you got to be kidding me. It's
Yeah.
grown this much. I said, yeah, it used to be. I remember the day, when a lot of these shops were empty.
Right.
Now, I mean, last time I checked, we're 100% occupancy.
Yeah, and we have been for a couple of years. Which
Yeah,
is amazing.
it's amazing.
What about, do you have a favorite building on the square? Or when you drive in the morning, what draws your eye about the Medina Square?
I would think, if we look interior, definitely, I'm not being a homer, but 23 Public Square, once you get inside, this is just beautiful.
It is. It really is.
But from the outside standpoint, I think, because most of the buildings are, you look at Medina Square as a whole, I think one of the only buildings that really just stands out from that whole is probably the courthouse.
Oh, okay.
It's an entity to itself.
Yeah.
And the architecture and all that, just to me, that you notice that, where you look at everything else, it's gorgeous, it's great, but it's all kind of one where that kind of stands out.
That's true. When you do get to travel in your downtime and you're going around spying on the other shave shops or grooming stores, what are some of your favorite places that you've traveled? So what do you see for the future of Imperial Shaving? Where is this going to go?
At this point, we're just trying to continue to grow our base. And once, as that base grows, does that lead you to think about another location?
Okay.
So that's always a possibility. Where else would this fit? Can we replicate this and duplicate this? So anytime you own a business, I think most people look at that as the second store is always the goal that's sitting there. Well, can I do it? And that's easier said than done a lot of times too, because a lot of what you're doing is where you're located, the people. And Medina people are just outstanding.
Imperial Shaving, would you call it a family business? Are your kids part of this?
It's strictly a family business.
Yeah?
Yep.
Do they like it,
my
or is it a job for them?
That was my son. Well, he likes it because he's pretty much the manager.
Okay.
He does most, all the heavy work, and does an excellent job.
So are the sons all into the shaving?
Yep.
They all have their
Yep.
own special pomades and grooming
yeah.
habits and.
My twins were when I got into this, were already learned how to shave.
Okay.
But they did switch over. They both use safety razors. My youngest son, actually, I was doing this before he first shaved. So I started him off with a straight razor right away.
At what age do you hand a kid a knife?
I think he was like
essentially
15,
and say rub it down your face.
15, give or take. But they've been watching me do it.
Okay. That's cool.
And actually, he's probably he caught on like that because he didn't have any bad habits. He said,
"Oh, gotcha. Okay."
Yeah. So I told him, this is how you shave. I mean, just like they did 100 years ago. That's all there was were straight razors. That's all there was. So everybody did it.
Yeah.
We have women clientele that buy straight razors, buy safety razors.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
More safety razors. We have a lot of women that buy safety razors. And use them.
Okay.
Matter of fact, there's plenty of circumstances where we've sold to the woman first for herself.
Oh.
Then went home and said, you got to her husband or significant other, you got to try this, and kind of built. I know one family in particular, I'll never forget. They started. The wife was walking through and asked me and tell me about this, and we talked about it. Why shave with the safety razor? What are the advantages? And I had to try this. And then about 2 weeks later, she was in with her husband.
That's cool.
About 2 more weeks later, she in with her two sons.
Oh, okay.
And it's like the whole family kind of built their way through the store, and went back to the old style. People go back to it for different reasons, whether it's nostalgia, whether it is better for your skin, whether it is a lot cheaper. The blades, the maintenance, it you buy a safety razor from it, you're going to have it for the rest of the life, unless you lose it.
Yeah.
But you'll have that one razor and be replacing it with these inexpensive quality blades. It's
That's really cool. Yeah. Don, thank you so much for sharing the history and your time and
no
more
problem.
about the
Thank
store.
you very much. This is awesome.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
You too, sir. Have a great day.
You too.